Greetings, humanity, and welcome to Channel Other Doc. I am Jim, I use he, him pronouns, and this is our short campaign of Blades in the Dark. This is a fantasy game by John Harper about a crew of shady characters operating in a haunted industrial-era city that sits under a blanket of perpetual night. We're going to go ahead and go around and say hi to everyone, find out who they are and who they're playing, starting once again with Speedy. Hello!
Hello, I am Speedy, and I will be playing as the Lurk Grift today. They, he pronouns.
Excellent. And now we shall head over to Noctua. Hello!
Hi, y'all. I'm Noctua, she, her. Today I am playing Weaver, who is the spider, also she, her.
And now we will head over to Hollow. Hello!
Hello, I'm Hollow, he, him pronouns. I am playing Thistle, the cutter, also he, him pronouns.
Excellent. And this evening, I am playing Greg, their getaway driver, who also uses he and him pronouns. And the playbook I am using is the Wheel. It is not available in Blades in the Dark. It is a playbook that I found as doing many searches. That is definitely unofficial, but we looked at it and we thought, yes, this works, and so we're using it. So we're gonna before I hand things over to our GM, you may see us use safety tools from time to time, like we do with the other games on this channel. We're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. If we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, hold up a card, make an X symbol, and we'll back up and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat, and we'll fade to black on it or put it behind a veil, so it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let us know we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or we do something and then think maybe that might have been a little too much. Then everyone else can respond to that again with an X, an N, or an O to let us know if we're still doing okay. We're also using the pause. If any of us need some time, we can ask for a pause in the game while we discuss things, or just take a break for as long as anyone needs. As a reminder, just a few content warnings. This game contains references to violence, darkness, law enforcement, crime, betrayal, deceit, and the supernatural. We can, if you ever want to see that while the game is streaming and you're watching live on Twitch, you can go to the chat and type !Blades CW and for content warning, and that will display, and it'll also be showing up periodically on rotation. Also, please remember that we have an open door policy, which means that any of us and any of you can feel free to step away from this at any time if we need to. It's just a game, and mental health is always more important. That, I think, is it. So I'm going to go ahead and hand things over to our GM, Brian. Hello.
Hello, I'm Brian. My pronouns are he, him. And we left off last time with... we just wrapped up downtime, and that was enough to get the crew a new advancement. And we don't have to decide it immediately, but if anyone has any suggestions for what you would like, throw them out. But I will remind you, it's time-honored tradition to get halfway through a score and go, hey, you know what would be great if we had taken that advancement? So feel free, just letting you know, either way. So we can talk about that, and there were some hints about what the next score might be, because you are being you're being treated even more differently now by certain citizens of Night Market, and not just the Hive affiliated ones. Some of them are just coming up and just flat out asking for things. Most of them are being a lot more subtle, and so you're getting rumors of things going back and forth. But the other thing that we did last time was that Grift learned a significant amount more about the Eye of the Shredded Queen, which they now have. So if everyone is cool with this, have an idea of a score that I can present to you that involves that and also more stuff about Connie. So if everyone's cool about that, we can kind of just, lean over that way. Also last time, Greg was introduced as a playable character. Greg has been unlocked. So there is also that. And but yeah, so unless anyone wants to throw out ideas for the advancement, I've got some things to throw at you that will potentially lead to the next score.
I wanted to interject one thing, and that was Weaver's got one downtime action saved to acquire an asset as we go through the score. So if you think about something that we really need, she's got it banked.
That's a cool point. And for that matter, you don't have to use it to acquire an asset. Just keep in mind, you've got it banked for whatever, anything on that list. But acquire an asset is an awfully good idea in general. So yeah, you're on it. So let's see. I think.
If we want to talk about crew advancements, I was looking at. Oh wait, is it? Is it? We can have anything from the list of special abilities or 2 squares on the crew upgrades?
That's exactly right. Yeah,
Okay.
2 upgrade squares or 1 special ability.
I was looking at thief rigging and maybe quality documents or something.
Yeah. Let's look at the
2 freeload of tools or gear.
That ain't
It's
bad.
just tools or gear, I guess, but tools or gear are useful.
It lets you carry more stuff without being obvious about it, which is pretty nice.
If we were to do that, then maybe quality tools or gear. I don't know. That was an idea. Could also just take everyone's steals and make everyone a little bit better. We don't have many scores left to worry about, like a lot of the in-between stuff.
Not a whole lot. Yeah. If this were a longer term campaign, it does change your decisions. There were a couple of things I was going to propose. For example, this would also be a good time for me to propose, trying to seize a claim. But that really gives you more long-term stuff than you're going to have time for.
Yeah.
So if we got back together to do another round of these, that might be how to do it. But right now, I love that idea, but it doesn't really fit too well with just having a couple more scores left. So yeah, I get where you're coming from on that one.
What did folks think about ghost echoes? I know that was debated for a bit.
We took that one last time.
You already have it.
Okay. I remembered the term, and I'm like, wait, did we actually? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You were here for the discussion, but you weren't here when it got decided. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
So congratulations, you have ghost echoes.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, pretty nice.
We role played so hard, we leveled up again.
You did. Yeah. On a downtime session. That was impressive.
Oh boy, I missed a lot. Okay.
Let's see.
Does anyone else have thoughts on any of those upgrades or abilities?
I mean, I don't, because I'm kind of in agreement, where you are, Speedy. So I'm just kind of vacillating between everyone steals and some of the other ones, because we are in a short-term campaign.
Yeah. I think the fact that it's a short-term campaign means that we shouldn't overthink it.
Well, okay, that's a fair point too. Yeah.
I think everyone's steals will give us a definite benefit, because y'all are definitely going to be rolling prowl or finesse or tinker.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, true.
Yeah, that could be a very tangible benefit that we could use immediately.
I'm good with that one.
I think so.
That does make sense. Okay.
All right, lock it in. Everyone give yourself an extra pip somewhere.
Yep. In either prowl, finesse, or tinker.
Sure.
I have an important question.
Which character? Is that your question?
Yes.
I will let you choose.
You could probably do both, right? If they're both in the crew.
You know what? Fine. Actually, I agree with Speedy. Yeah, do it for both.
Okay.
Well, that does make sense because I started you off with 2 special abilities to catch you up with everyone else. Why not? Yeah.
Okay.
So go
Yeah,
ahead
that's
and
cool.
add a dot to both characters.
Now, if I add a dot of Tinker to Sharky, then he will have 3 Tinker. Is that okay?
That is fine.
I will do that. For that is an ability he uses a lot.
And also, I feel like it fits with the fiction because that's literally what he went away to do.
Yeah.
And so coming back
Fair.
with coming back being better at that, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
True.
I'm not saying everything has to fit the fiction, but I like it when it does. So. All right. Well, I think we did that. All right. So now,
I think I will say, Noctua, you missed most of what happened last episode. When you come back to the lair, Sharky is gone.
Oh gosh, that's true.
Greg, the driver from the score, is still here.
Just hanging around. Yeah.
And Grift is sulking in the corner, holding a eerie-looking, completely black switchblade.
Can we do this in character? Do we have time for this?
Well, because Weaver legitimately doesn't know what happened. So yeah, I think.
Well, if Weaver is showing up like this little standing outside the door, oh, I hope she's coming back soon.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, Weaver's had a great time. She went on a very nice date with Lady Freud.
That's true.
So that's where she's been. And she's had a lovely time. It's been very pleasant. Yeah, just enjoying the success. So yeah, she comes back to the lair. You can hear the sound of the high heels clicking on the pavement as she approaches, and sees Thistle by the doorway, and kind of arches an eyebrow, and says, "Hello there. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised to see you lurking, but you're normally not lurking out here."
The boy's asking questions about the score.
And you see like the eyebrows go up as she figures out you're talking about Connie and like the stuff that happened. Now, Weaver still thinks that Connie failed in her task. She doesn't know that Connie got the object. So Weaver's going in with incomplete information. So to Thistle, she says, dangerous questions?
Pointed questions.
Oh dear. Are they all right?
Questionable. They also have a knife. It's very, very shiny. Actually, it's not shiny at all. I just like shiny knives. I wish it was shiny, actually. I'd feel better about it if it was shiny. It's unshiny. It's an unshiny knife.
That sounds even more dangerous than the shiny knives. I should probably take a look. I'm just curious now. Maybe it's a good thing?
Well, you'll find them sulking in a corner.
Right. Thank you.
So, just forewarned is for something.
Forearmed. And Weaver is going to enter and...
Oh, and Greg's here. Still.
I'm going to say that Greg has been popping in and out, just so that if you need to have a serious conversation, he won't be here for that yet. He's got stuff he does. He's a cabbie.
Right. Greg is about.
Yeah.
Oh. Unexpected.
Oh, and Sharky's gone.
Wait, where did the professor go?
He left in a huff. Very
Is he
angry.
coming back?
Even when he sorts himself out, you'll see. Well, we'll figure it out.
Okay. And just kind of like lowers her voice and says to Thistle, I mean, I like Greg. We've worked with him before, but he can't replace the professor.
Well, we need a fourth. We've got a Greg, and we don't have a Sharky.
Okay, so until the professor gets back.
There we go.
Yes. All right. And Weaver goes in being very surprised and confused at everything that's happened. All right. So, looks around for Grift sulking in the corner.
Yeah, I mean, as you walk in, you see Grift has this just like pure obsidian knife. And they appear to be just like they just kind of have it on their hand and they're twisting it a little bit, but it's not bleeding at all, which is weird. And then as you open the door, they sort of panic and just like try and hide it like they were doing something wrong, but you did see it.
Okay.
Oh, you're finally back. Right.
So, how are you?
Oh, me, I'm fucking brilliant. Yeah. Fantastic. Professor's gone.
Yeah, Thistle said. You also said you have a knife. A special knife, one that wasn't shiny.
Yeah, I guess I mean, no point hiding it. I just sort of flick it back out. Do you know what this is?
Weaver takes a closer look at it. Does Weaver know what this is?
You muted, Brian.
Sorry about that. Not offhand, but I will tell you, you've got because everyone in the crew has been exposed to various levels of spectral energies. All of you are able to perceive the other side of the veil a little bit. Even if you're not trying to, you can sense that it's there when you couldn't before. And yeah, when Grift flicks the blade open, you sense a ripple in the ghost field. Hey,
Ooh.
Grift, you legit just see it. It's like someone has just dropped a pebble into a still pond.
Mm-hmm.
Could you kill a ghost with that?
Why do you want me to kill a ghost?
No, it feels ghostly. Oh gods, I'm not good at ghosts. This is why we need the professor.
Well, don't worry. I asked him first. That's why he's not fucking here anymore.
Oh. Oh dear. What did he say about your knife? Where did you get the knife? Sorry, one question at a time.
No, it's important context. I should just tell you. Where to start?
Try the beginning.
Connie didn't fuck up. Connie's good at her fucking job. All right. She got the whatever the fuck it was that you were stealing on that job, and she left it with me to lay low for a bit. And well, they didn't find it. They found her. You know the rest. Now, based on the fact that you didn't immediately recognize that this is the thing that you were stealing, I imagine that you don't actually know what the Eye of the Shrouded Queen is.
You just see her shake her head.
Thistle brings Weaver a chair.
Yeah, she smiles at you kind of wanly and just very gracefully folds herself into it before the gravity gets her. Uh, and looking at Grift, she's like, so you've just had it this whole time. Connie got it, and you've just had it. And wait, that's what she was getting, the knife.
Well, it didn't used to be a knife. It was a sphere, little marble. But well, this is mine now. I don't really know how else to put it. It's just mine. I can't give it to anyone else. It took this shape for me, and I don't think anyone else can have it.
Well, just to be clear, I'm not trying to take it from you. You can keep it. I don't want it.
I look down at my hand where I have been pointing it at you without realizing it, and I just flick it closed. Sorry.
And we were still a little bamboozled and like half a step behind. So she asks, "Wait, I'm sorry. I I knew that Connie was going after something small, something she could put in a pocket. But honestly, that's all the context I had. If it was a marble, how did it become a knife? And how are you so convinced that you can't give it to anyone else? Do you even want to? To be quite frank, it's a little unlike you to give up something so potentially valuable.
You know, I can't fault you there. Frankly, I don't want to give it up. But I don't know why I don't. And I don't know why I know that it's mine now. It's just something I can feel. When it changed forms, it's like it became a part of me. Um, I Sorry I didn't tell you sooner. Suppose I just didn't quite trust you.
Weaver kind of nods like, yeah, that's fair.
Honestly, I don't know whether to be relieved or disappointed that you don't know what this is, that you took on that job without any fucking idea what you're getting into. I thought you were better than that.
Weaver just kind of laughs. And she says, well, part of it's the reputation, darling. The other part, well, for some of these jobs, if we knew the truth of what we were getting into, we'd never agree to go on them.
Look, I be completely honest, I'm fucking pissed. Um, but I'm trying real hard not to hold it against you. Because there's a whole lot of other shit going on right now that we probably need to worry about more. Because whoever had this knife before, well, this Eye of the Shrouded Queen, wants it back. And whoever we stole this for, whoever you were paying for that, you were paid for that job, they also probably want it back. And now, it ain't getting to them.
I can tell you two things about the job that I know for certain. I know our employer for that job, and I know where the item was found. Now, here's the part you don't want to hear. We stole it from the church. They didn't want us to know that, but now
You stole it, sorry, for the church or from the church?
from the church.
Okay.
They
No, it was 4.
4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fuck.
Okay. We stole it for the church. And let's see. Sorry, I'm going back over the notes.
Yeah. It was a while back.
Yeah. Okay. Stole it for the church, and second part was I know where we found it. It's supposed to be in
Old,
6 Towers.
Busted up building in 6 Towers.
Apparently abandoned was the intel we had.
Ghosts in it.
Probably. It was 6 Towers after all.
Yeah, I think I know that part. Yeah, sorry. When I attuned to the knife, it took me somewhere. I think I went there, wherever you stole it from. Not much to be learned. Couple ghosts drifting around. No signs of any life left. But the church, huh?
Yeah. They didn't want us to know. They tried their best to keep it under wraps, but, well, we found out anyway.
Was that before or after you decided you were okay with doing it?
Not after. After things went wrong.
All right. Well, here's the rest of it. I, the Shrouded Queen, some sort of ancient deity, demon, some sorts. Who fucking knows? But she's got a bit of a cult following. And one of the leaders of that cult is the reason why Sharky is out stealing things from the church instead of rotting on the inside of a classroom.
Ah,
And so when he heard that name, he fucking flipped.
very important context. Right. Okay.
Also, we've got some fucking, I don't know, spirit tech or something. He said we could maybe try to bring Connie back. Not back, but you know, give a mechanical body to her. I'm trying not to get my hopes up, but also maybe a little hopeful that while he's off fucking panic tinkering or whatever it is that he does, he thinks of some sort of design. I don't know.
Weaver gets a little serious and looks at you. Does Connie want a mechanical body?
I don't know if Connie wants fucking anything anymore. Other than, I don't know, same old shit. But yeah, it's up to her. Totally up to her.
Wait, does Weaver know that you've been talking to Connie this whole time?
I think so. Well, I think so. Yeah, I think you do.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, you may not know like the extent of it, but yeah.
Okay. Weaver is going to say, kind of solemnly, uh, I'm. Could you maybe apologize to her for me? I owe her that much. She did the job and she she did it well. I'm sorry.
You can tell yourself when we get it back. So what the fuck are we gonna do now?
Uh, wish we had the professor. I need to know more about a cult of a dead god. All right, let me see if I know anybody religious.
Anyone religious that isn't currently trying to kill you. That would be that.
Yes. Specifically.
It's unfortunately, yeah, you're
Oh, also
Short
our
list.
ghost bomb is gone. We let all the ghosts out.
Oh, that's true.
Oh.
Yeah.
We
In a
wanted to be
controlled
nice.
manner?
Yes.
Yes.
We freed the ghosts. We liberated them.
Yeah.
Okay.
We used it to reduce heat.
Actually, you did. Yeah.
Nice.
Got a really good roll on that one. That was yeah, that was the most creative heat reduction roll I've seen. That was impressive. Release a bunch of ghosts. All right.
I think Weaver is doing the equivalent of flipping through yellow pages of like, who here on this list is religious and won't kill us? Yeah, as she's trying to find someone who might know.
Actually, Asperia might be a good contact for that because she is knowledgeable about just the occult side of things in general. So,
Oh, nice. Okay.
Well, I mean, I don't think we're going to be able to do anything about this till Sharky's back. The professor is, I mean, he's livid. Frankly, I think we could use his. I don't know if he has like a strong, like vengeful side to him, but it feels like I saw it then for a moment when he flipped shit.
Right.
If there was ever a time for Sharky to be vengeful, it was then. If I was ever going to give him a knife, it would be then.
It looks like we have our source and we have the weapon. So we just point Sharky at the problem, give him a knife, let him go.
Sharky Claymore. Point Sharky towards enemy.
yes, point professor towards enemy. I like that.
That's a plan right there.
Yeah. Brian, do you have any direction for us? Rumors to follow?
In fact, I do.
If you would like an
Two
excuse,
things.
I've been out putting my ear to the ground for various things. If you would,
That's a good one. A few things actually, and actually, yeah. As a cabbie, yeah, you are a hell of a information source. So, first off, yeah, you've been hearing. Well, actually, given that you were here for the rather intense discussion involving the knife last time, and you were here when Sharky stormed out, you actually certain things that you're picking up on are going to have different resonance than they otherwise might, because you know that this group that you worked with before is into something.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have you go ahead.
I'm going to let you know a couple of I don't know how this is going to affect anything, if anything, but in my brain I have a tiny bit of lore about Greg. So a few things. One is he's trying to get back to a good place with the cabbies, who I think are kind of starting to look askance because of what happened with the last job.
Yeah, it was noisy. Yeah.
And that he's got a possessed carriage that's trying to keeps following him around.
It's not great.
He has a wife and kids that he has not mentioned yet. She's also kind of in the game in a sense. She works in the night market.
Okay.
And so she's very supportive. But also he has a gambling problem. And so that's one of the ways in which he gets information a lot of times, is that he'll get cards or dice or something game going with folks, and that's they talk and he hears things, that kind of thing.
So yeah, the cabbies are not at the level of the gondoliers as far as not being spooked by ghost stuff, but the cabbies are still seen a lot. Yeah. Meaning the cabbies know what's going on. Yeah.
And the one other thing is that I know that I think that someone had expressed an interest for Greg to also have Someone had expressed an interest for Greg to also have a connection to the Hive, and I figured out that what it is that his wife works for the Hive.
Nice.
More specifically.
That makes a lot of sense.
So it's one of those weird sort
of
things.
And the
we don't
Hive
talk
often,
about work at dinner.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. The Hive often needs stuff transported. So yeah.
Yeah. So
that makes a lot of sense.
Thinking.
Okay. Yeah. Well, in that case, you have definitely got. If you're asking around specifically about the Connie thing, and being a cabbie, you can do it subtly. But if you're looking for that specifically,
looking for that, but then also for anything that can work as a job that so that he can get back up to where he needs to be.
Right. Actually, you find something that might be both.
Good.
So there are always rumors that some ghosts have found a way to exist more stably than others. And those who believe in such things have encountered some there's something of a disturbance at this address over in Six Towers. But it's not. Usually when ghosts get pissed off, it looks like when you let all those ghosts out of the box that time.
Yeah.
Or specifically in Greg's case, when he was driving and a whole bunch of ghosts literally descended on his carriage.
That wasn't me.
Yeah.
Let me take you down that tank.
Usually it looks like that. This time, whatever's going on at that place in Six Towers, it's more ordered, but no less frightening.
And so what sort of signs am I seeing of things being more ordered in a particular address at Six Towers? Is it just, or is this just something someone's told me?
Yeah, I mean, you can go check it out. They can tell you where it is. But yeah. Usually it's just like uncontrolled chaos if you piss off a bunch of ghosts.
Yeah.
In this case, it is definitely more directed. Keeping. Honestly, it's more like a gang would act if they were really angry about something, like a gang of mortals. Same sort of security measures, except ghosts. the same sort of reactions.
Okay. Are there any so continuing to put one's ear to the ground, is there any sort of possibility of someone with money materializing who might want something involving that?
Yeah. Turns out, wait. You met Asperia. She was riding in your carriage.
Yes.
She plays cards too.
Okay. Yeah.
And she didn't initiate this, but when she started hearing about it, she says,
Oh, yeah.
Could look into it for you.
Yeah, what exactly we get out of that, eh?
Well, depends on what it is.
Hmm.
If it's nothing, at least you know to sniff around somewhere else, yes?
Well, I suppose so. You think they've got some. Well, you think they've got something of value in there? Might be help offset things a bit. Yeah.
Well, value to them's not the same as value to us always. But when they combine, that's where the money is.
Oh. Oh, yeah, I mean, if you've got an interest and you want to, if you feel like taking a look, I suppose that wouldn't be too much of a difficulty, he says. And I think this is one of those things where we're playing a trick-taking game.
Yeah.
Cards and he's and so it's just one of those things where he's like, where he puts a card down and he's like, "Oh, damn, you got something to take that, don't you? God damn it."
And she flips 3 swords.
You know, I should have learned by now not to play with you.
Well,
right. How deep am I at this point?
she gives you a number that is painful but not staggering.
Oh God! All right. I can do this right now. I can do this right now. I can do the rest perhaps in a little bit.
Sure. Where should we meet up?
Tell you what. Well, I've been. You know where the. You know that lovely. Wait. Does Greg actually know where the hideout is?
I don't think so. I feel like Greg has been meeting in someplace in Night Market that you guys have. Does that sound right?
Chatting.
Okay.
I thought he was hanging out at a hideout, but we can have it be
either way. It's up to
location.
you. I was okay, but yeah, whatever.
I guess the question is, does Asperia know where the hideout is? Like,
Asperia has not been to the hideout. Asperia only knows you from Night Market.
Yeah, I think perhaps we would want like a rendezvous in Night Market for her, unless the whole group is like, yeah, she's cool.
Okay. If you're okay with that, we could cut to her having found some stuff out and talk to you. But in the meantime, Grift, I don't know if we need to role play this, but the last time you talked to, or I think between you talking to Weaver and Asperia showing up, you noticed that Connie is definitely changing.
Yeah, I think after like that conversation with Weaver, she goes off to investigate some leads. I go off to see Connie.
And the first thing you notice when you see Connie, you're still not affected by her the way you are by other ghosts, but you've got a little bit of that fear. Just a touch of it now, where before there was none.
I just walk up to her and I go to like do our like our secret handshake, even though I just pass straight through her
Right.
hands now. Just go through the motions.
She does that, and then she says, "Did you have a name that she called you before you were known as Grift?"
Izzy.
That's what she calls you, and she hasn't done that in a long time. She says, "Izzy, you're back."
Izzy, eh? What's the occasion?
We've got things to do.
And
I
what,
have
no-
to. I have to show them that they were wrong.
Show who?
There's something in her eyes that makes it look like maybe she's going to say everyone, but she goes, "I don't know the names, but I know the faces. I've got the faces right here."
Connie, you're scaring me. What are you talking about? You got someone you want to run a scam on? I'm fine with that.
Not a scam. Revenge.
I mean, I can't disagree with that. On who? Church? What do they look like? I'll fucking kill him.
She gives you descriptions that you do not recognize, but she describes 3 people in fine detail. So you've got descriptions.
All right. You can't just dwell on that. All right. You know what happens to ghosts. Do you know what happens to ghosts?
I know what's
Can you still
happening to
understand
me,
that?
but it feels right.
Look, Connie, we're gonna make you right again. All right. We're gonna make it so you don't go all feral. All right. Just hang in there. Don't try not to think about that.
She takes the ghost equivalent of a deep breath, and she says, "It's difficult to think of anything else, Izzy."
Don't worry. I'm gonna fix this. I'm gonna fix it. All right. Just please hang in there. All right. I'll be back. A couple days, no less. Got a professor who's going to figure everything out. He's real smart, knows everything there is to know about automatons, and we've got a plan. You'll be okay. All right, just
Oh, I could crush the life out of them if I were made of metal.
don't. Okay, when we put you in there, you're not going to think like that anymore. All right, you're going to be okay. Just try not to think about that. Just think about me. All right, think about Izzy. Yeah,
Yeah, Izzy. Okay.
never hurt me.
No. Nice knife, though.
I looked down and didn't realize that I was holding it. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're not gonna hurt me. I'm not gonna hurt you. We're mates.
She just nods and keeps nodding a little too long.
All right. Well, I'll catch you later.
The
Bye.
fountain's red again. Thank you.
Yeah. Glad she's all right. Make sure no kids don't get too close. All right.
No. No, not the kids. And she starts to fade.
I wander off. Walk
I
past the fountain. Observe that it is indeed running red. At
It totally is. Yeah.
the right hour. Bloody Emily is back where she belongs.
So I had one question about Connie specifically. Uh, do we know why she's not feral? Is it normal for ghosts to have a period of sanity before going feral?
I don't think any of you individually know for sure. Although,
I definitely
yeah,
don't know. I just learned how to choke ghosts like
you
yesterday.
living in Duskfall, everyone's had some encounter with a ghost.
Yeah.
Meaning that everyone is aware, either you have personally encountered it or you've heard stories. Everyone is aware that there are sort of different kinds of ghosts. And so, yeah, but I don't think any of you have the information to know, like, if it's a thing where they would progressively get worse necessarily.
Yeah, I think like I was as caught off guard as anyone when I was able to talk to Connie like regular, but I think what I assumed is like from every ghost I've seen, like they're usually caught in some kind of loop. They're an echo of themselves. And because Connie and I were so close and hung out all the time, like it's it's not that different from what she was usually doing to just be talking to me and like stealing from people with me. Like
Right, that's true.
um so like I just thought like, all right, well, this is just part of the echo that she is. Um and that she can't really do much more. Um
So
so
change
yeah.
is unexpected in a ghost.
I mean, I don't know.
Like as a player, neither do I. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
I would think that as a player, I would think that change is well, I would think change is typically unexpected, but if it is going to happen, it would be only in the direction of worse, right? Like,
Fair point. Yeah. Like everything else in Duskfall, honestly.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah. All right. Oh, okay. We got more lore on Connie.
better is not in most Duskfall citizens' vocabulary. All right. So if we're okay, we can get to the meeting with Asperia.
Yeah.
And yeah, so she shows up. Where do you meet her?
Leaky bucket.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, wait,
yeah.
actually, is it good to go to the same place as last time?
Yeah, you know.
That's
I mean, night market's your turf. You're probably safe there. So yeah,
Sure.
that makes sense. Yeah, same place as last time makes a lot of sense. All right. So yeah, you're back at the table, and Thistle will join later. But yeah, so it's been, let's say, a couple of days, and she gets word, probably through Greg, since Greg's the one she was talking to, that she's got something. And honestly, I don't know that we necessarily need to role play it as such. I can just tell you what she tells you, because she says, yeah, she went to Six Towers. She checked the place out. It's full of what she describes as weird ghosts. And she says, what I mean by that is they are two things. Organized, which is unusual, and they are difficult to work with. They're more willful.
You try to work with them?
I did what I normally do, and they told me to stop it. Usually ghosts don't have that much
Volition.
yes. All of the above. They were very polite, but I backed right off.
All right. Well, this sounds easy then. Polite ghosts.
I can make an introduction.
Would that be better or worse coming from you?
Hmm. I don't know, but I could open the door and then see what happens.
Weaver is down for this. She's like, yeah, more connections. But she's also not an expert in ghosts, so.
Oh, did we figure out last time that like the eye is related to like the reconciled, or what is it, Path of Echoes or whatever?
That was
right.
mentioned,
It was
yeah.
the
We found out it was connected, but did we find out that it was like related to how they are able to be like that? Or is
that was a heavy implication.
okay? Yeah, I mean, I guess we can go ask. I don't know, maybe, but they might just fucking attack us. This is probably who we fucking stole this thing from. Sorry. I didn't realize I'm talking too loud.
We were just like arching an eyebrow at you, like, come on, you know this. Yeah. Right now it's our strongest lead.
All right, then. Shall we?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Cut to 6 Towers. Are all 4 of you there?
Yeah. Is
No
this
reason
a
not to.
score? Is
Yeah.
this a social score? Or is this a
Social
setup
score.
for a job?
It's the beginning. Yeah, it's basically
Okay.
yeah.
Are we
So-
gathering information? Is that
You're
official?
essentially gathering information and also being
Woo!
eventually, I promise, told what the score is.
Okay.
All right. So what you've got is you're and Grift, you already know. Actually, like Grift and Weaver, you both already know what the address is. You it's exactly the place you expected. But here's the cool thing. Grift is the only one that's seen this so far, but all of you are able to perceive it now. There is a building in the ghost field that is the remnant of the building that used to be here. And that's the door that Asperia knocks on.
Oh.
I could have sworn that went there the other day.
It was not. And it's a little
Okay,
difficult to
sweet.
focus on. It's like looking at one of those magic eye things. You keep having to adjust your vision to see that door.
Yeah, I think something about the I don't know, massive explosion of spirits from inside your carriage might have had something to do with it.
Yes, probably. Are we riding there in the carriage? Is that how we're doing this?
I mean, it'd be a fast way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. I like that idea. Yeah, I think so.
Better than fucking walking.
When you have the option of car.
Yeah. Come on. Otherwise, why?
As long as Greg is fine with it as long as nothing spooks the goats. That's the important thing.
Nah.
Everything's gonna spook the ghosts, mate. We're going to see ghosts.
Wait, I thought the goats were immune to ghosts.
Yeah, that's right. They weren't.
They are actually.
Yeah, they didn't have a
these goats
problem.
are fine.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
so yeah, we'll be totally fine because there's not gonna be any real people there.
And so the building that you're looking at in the ghost field is about 45 degrees off from the building on the mortal side of the veil. And that door opens and all of you can see the ghost, but you are not affected like you would be if when a ghost usually shows up. Each of you is probably I'm not going to tell you how you react, obviously, but I will tell you. I'll give you an analogy. It's It's like being in a room with a tiger. The tiger's not jumping at you right now, but you know the tiger could. And so the ghost in question is a rather tall gentleman. He has long hair. He's dressed like nobility, but he's dressed like nobility from a couple hundred years ago. And he looks at Asperia and says, "You again."
And friends.
That gets his attention, and he says, he just looks at Grift. Oh,
I smile awkwardly.
I think
it's yours now. I suppose you should come in.
Oh, they seem to know. I say to the group quietly.
Weaver's just like looking back and forth between Grift and the ghost and like, oh, this is new. Okay.
And the ghost walks through the physical walls. The four of you, well, five now, Asperia is still here, are having to walk around the physical walls in order to get to the place that the ghost eventually is. So you're not taking the same route, but you end up in the same place. The room that you're in is in the physical realm. It's a kitchen, a rather large kitchen, because this is Six Towers. It's full of old, fancy houses, mostly in states of disrepair. This one definitely. But in the ghost realm, it is a rather well-appointed sitting room. And the ghost says, "I sense the eye about you."
Yeah. I'm Grift, and you are.
"I am called Valeris."
Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
"Welcome to my abode."
Lovely place. Probably quite easy to clean.
"You'd be surprised. It's so difficult to find good help these days." So, you're associated with the one that took that from us in the first place, yes?
If I say yes, are you going to kill us?
No. I
turn to
believe I
Weaver.
have some use for you.
Can I insight check a ghost?
Yeah, sure.
How do I insight check in this system?
Let's double check. I think there's literally study.
It's a weird thing where it's like if they're lying, you can roll to resist the effects of lying. You roll resolve,
Oh,
or maybe it's insight.
insight is not a thing on this list.
Well, it is, but really in this case, I would let's see. Let's look over here. Let's see what the options are. I mean, study makes sense. If you engage them in conversation, even consort or sway, depending on what you're trying to find out.
Okay. Okay. I guess let me try talking to him, and then I might save the roll for
Okay.
sway if once we get more information.
All right.
Yeah. Because yeah, this ghost is weird. Okay, so I think Weaver at this point kind of perks up and says, "Oh, a use. Do you perhaps have something we can assist you with?"
Yes. You see, the eye was important to us, but it is locked away now. Once it is attuned, only the death of the holder can release it. And we're not interested in that.
Cool.
But I believe we can be of mutual assistance. We know what happened to the one that stole it. It was not her fault.
Yeah. Yeah, she's not doing great. How are you like this? How are you able to talk to us like this? Why don't you want to kill me? Is that weird to ask? It feels like you should want to kill me, if not for the eye thing, then for the ghost reasons.
See,
Two reasons.
God.
First, you have not wronged us. But most importantly, we have ascended to a higher state of existence. We can help your friend
Okay.
if she wants to be helped.
And what do you get out of it? What do you want from all of this?
We want something to replace the eye.
And have you an idea of what that something is?
There are many things. But I am not without my petty vindictiveness. I have a few people that I would like to see taken down a peg.
Comprehension dawns. Like, okay, this makes more sense.
I'm not.
I lean to Weaver and am like, does he mean kill someone who has one of these already?
No, something like it. Maybe not identical, but something like it.
Sure.
It simply doesn't fill my every thought. But if you're interested, I could suggest some items that are, as of yet, unattuned.
Okay, Weaver will nod at this and like look around at the group as a whole, just like, are y'all cool with doing a job for a ghost?
What with the strangest job we've done?
I think it is actually. I mean, I guess like you've been doing this longer than me, but it feels like this is the strangest job I've done, certainly.
This is actually the strangest job that Weaver's been on personally. She's heard of weirder, but yeah, she hasn't done something for a ghost herself.
I think the job's pretty straightforward. The ghost has a nit to pick, and he wants us to do the picking. The fact that he's a ghost is the only thing that makes it extraordinary. Other than that, sounds pretty simple to me.
Greg? This is Greg, by the way.
I'm just trying to. Governor. And he just sort of will turn around, trying to go. I mean, I suppose there's. And he says, trying to say to the group, it's like, I suppose there's a way we could. There's a way to spin this. It could turn it into. There's a way to turn it into money or some other kind of recognition that gets things helped out, squared away, and all that. That's fine as long as it's not just It's the trouble is I don't know if I reckon this is not something that's getting paid in money, right? It's something that's getting paid in. I'm fine if you we want to get your mate sorted out, but it's I would assume. Perhaps
they'll
there'll be
find something
other.
to steal. I don't know. I'll pay you in coin if they can't.
So you're attempting to whisper? Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying
not-
probably not
Sidebar.
successfully to
It's
whisper.
not working. It turns out ghosts have good hearing. He says,
I'd expect.
I will point out that as an incorporeal being, I have no need for money.
I assumed that was the case.
No, I don't
But
think it's.
it doesn't mean-
Of course not.
I mean,
Governor,
you've
no.
got pockets, but
But what that means is the money that I have access to, I don't have anything to do with it.
you do have money.
Oh, yes. Six
Compound
Towers is
interest of it.
full of it. You just have to know where to look.
Oh.
I mean,
Oh, I'm definitely on board then.
So, are we of an accord?
yeah, dude, please, let's do it.
Right.
Best
So,
news I've heard all week.
terms. You'd like us to retrieve for you certain unattuned items that can take the place of the eye, items which you will point out, and we may use whatever means necessary to do so.
As long as it's delivered here, yes.
All right. Your discretion on whether you wish harm upon those holding the items at the moment.
Absolutely no concern of mine.
All right. And in exchange, you will pay us an actual money,
Yes.
right?
I cannot handle it, but I can show you where it is.
And will you still assist our friend?
That is a given. We welcome all who are seeking enlightenment.
Thank you. I think. I mean, I suppose it remains to be seen, but
Weaver looks around one more time, like just getting nods from people, like, we good?
yeah.
And she will not attempt to shake the ghost's hand because she knows that doesn't work.
Right,
But
yeah.
she'll like curtsy and say,
Yeah. I feel like you probably got some sort of any number of things. It could be just like an Eruvian bow, maybe something along those lines. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. He returns it in kind.
Yay!
And so now he literally gives you a list of things. And we've got a bunch of options here. So what I'm going to do is let's have a discussion. Are there any factions you would like to go up against?
Oh, I gotta find the factions list.
Keep in mind the church is a possibility.
I mean, the church.
The church does
been happening
famously
a
have a
lot.
large collection of stuff.
I would
So-
like to get back at the church.
Yeah.
They might be like the hardest one to do that to.
Oh,
but...
Yeah. It's not going to
Yeah.
be easy. No, that would be that's a good
Yeah.
point.
Since
But-
Greg is not a regular here, is there somebody Greg is not cool with like going up against? Like, Z got some people he's just like, I won't fuck with them.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Well, it's mostly don't mess. Is don't mess with the hive. Don't mess with the cabbies.
Right.
And probably not also other transportation based.
Yeah, like the
peoples.
gondoliers, the railjacks, those groups. Okay, yeah. You don't want to mess
wants
with
to
them.
maintain good relations with those.
Union solidarity.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so I feel like people were cool with going up against or possibly angering might be the church because they've been a recurring target.
Fair point. Yeah.
Potentially the foundation because I know that we've mentioned a couple times that they're potential.
And the foundation seems like the kind of group that would have some stuff that like this, so that makes sense. I will warn you, you're likely to be at war with them if you do it, but because you're already at -2.
I'm surprised we're not at war with the church yet at this point.
Yeah, amazingly.
Oh, that's fair.
It's because you kept it quiet. After this, that won't happen. But yeah, you've managed to keep it quiet.
Oh, okay. So actually,
I think you're still only -1 with a church, aren't you? That's amazing. Because
maybe we should go up against the church just because it's the church.
Yeah.
What tier is the church, by the way?
Oh, let me double check. I've got the factions list here.
They're tier 4, aren't they?
They are. Yes, they are tier 4.
All right.
So is the foundation, by the way. So.
Okay, so both of these would be the harder jobs.
Neither one is easier. No.
Yeah. Of course, I mean, we could always go after someone that doesn't have anything against us if we wanted to keep it. If we decide we wanted to be safer about it, and just pick on someone.
Yeah, you guys have been so quiet. By the way, I have a 6-segment clock started called The Church Finds Out, and it's still only got 3 segments. So, amazingly.
I mean, let's just fucking go after the church.
We already know that this is a short campaign, so we could just say screw it.
I want to see them fucking burn, and I don't care anymore.
All right, burn hot and fast. I like it. All right, do we want to take a quick break and then we'll come back and talk score stuff?
Yep.
All right.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Alrighty. We're gonna go ahead and take a quick break, and then we shall return and figure out the score. We will see you shortly. Welcome to the break. I am here with James Introcaso, writer and game designer. Greetings.
Greetings.
And we are going to talk a bit about the game Zweihander, which you've been doing some work on. Now, I'm not actually deeply familiar with the game. I've been sort of around the edges of it, so maybe you can help sort of introduce us to this game and what it's about. What is Zweihander and what's
so Zweihander is a game that was created by Daniel Fox, and it's put out by Andrews McMeel Publishing. It is a grim and perilous role-playing game. So it takes place in, assumes that it takes place in a sort of medieval fantasy world. There are firearms and things, so it's around that sort of fire army time. I'm not very good with my world history, as you can tell, but it also has a lot of themes that we would expect probably to see in some older role-playing games. Things like not everybody trusts magic and thinks that maybe it's witchcraft and bad. It's magic is not like used in healing a lot. So a lot of what makes it grim and perilous is that combat in the game and other hazards that you run into are usually very deadly, and you need to look out for that. And you might spend weeks in between adventures kind of recuperating if you take a lot of damage during an adventure and are lucky enough to survive. And you can get infections and that sort of thing. So that's what makes it grim and perilous. But what makes it really interesting is kind of the dark bent that is there, and what toll does adventuring take on people who choose to take up an adventuring life, right? It's about both the physical toll and the mental and emotional toll that can kind of be put upon people who decide that they will take on adventuring. And it uses a D100 system. So it's a skill-based system. I think it's very similar to Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay Second Edition. So if you are familiar with that, there's a bunch of different skills. You have a certain percentage in those skills. You roll D100 to see if you get under that percentage. If so, you succeed. If not, you fail. That's sort of the very, very, very basic rules in Zweihander. And it is a ton of fun. It is a lot of fun to play because it's got a sense of humor to it. And I would say a little bit almost like Evil Dead, right? Like when you're reading the book, there are some little jokes and jabs and things like that. It doesn't take itself too seriously. So for all of its heavy and emotional weight and being about human suffering and things like that, it is also a very fun book to read, and it's a very fun game to play because of those reasons. And it's meant to explore darker themes. It's definitely not one you would want to play like with your kids. This is one for adults in that sense, that it is more violent and more deadly and that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, that's very cool that they're trying to be at least the gritty realism thing. There are, of course, a lot of different varied opinions on how one achieves that, but it sounds like this is a very they're trying to do something that's a good balance.
They are.
Which is good.
Yeah, and there's a lot of rules for resolving things without combat, right? There's really in-depth chase rules for when you're running away from something. How do you get away from it, right? And there's very in-depth social interaction rules because Zweihander assumes like, okay, well, we've made combat very deadly. You're probably not going to resort to combat at first in most situations because you're really taking a risk when you do. And so I really appreciate that, right? Like there's all sorts of different skills that you can use to get out of different situations and overcome obstacles while you're adventuring. It's not just hack, right? It's a lot of like, okay, well, maybe we're going to go into battle. Well, how do we best go in here? Well, let's prepare the battlefield. Let's dig pits for traps, spill lamp oil everywhere so we're ready to light it on fire. Like all that kind of stuff is really, really fun to do and encouraged. And I think what's great about Zweihander is it gives you a lot of the tools to do that. So, right, when I look at some other old school role-playing games, it's hard because it's like, yeah, your players are going to want to do stuff. Let them do it. But they don't give you the tools and mechanics necessarily to go there and do those things when your players improv. This one really does. It gives you a lot of tools to be able to improv and a lot of optional things. This is the core rule book right here. And what I also like about it is I feel like a lot of these grittier old school role-playing games, we don't see a ton of character options, right? It's like you're a wizard, you get one spell level per level, right? Or hey, you're a fighter, your attack bonus goes up +1 each level, and that's it. Zweihander is a super duper customizable and has a very, very fun character creation system that involves a lot of rolling on random tables to see who you create and a lot of different character options. And you also get like 3 different professions throughout your career. You start with one, and then when you get to a certain level, add another, and then you add another. And you can mix and match any of them in the book, leading to a lot of different combinations of characters. So I really like that and appreciate that like you're not bored as a player because you can do a lot of different things and you're highly customizable with it.
Nice. There's one other thing I wanted to ask you about, and I don't know how mechanical this is in the system, but you did talk about Zweihander addressing the psychological effects of adventuring, and I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit more about how that game addresses that.
Sure. So there's a couple of different tools in Zweihander for that. One is called corruption. So in Zweihander you have alignment, but it's different than what we know in D&D alignment. You have an alignment that exists on a law and a chaos scale, and you have like 2 ends of that, right? So like one is like your lawful alignment might be like piety, and then your chaotic on that spectrum would be like fanaticism, right? So it's like, hey, these are two sides of the same coin. And you have this resource called corruption. And every time you do something that is questionable in nature, and I don't just mean robbing a shopkeep, but certainly that, but also like, you leave a bunch of people to fend for themselves with a monster because you want to survive, you gain corruption. And as you gain corruption, then at the end of the session, you make a roll to see, based on how high your corruption is, do you swing more towards your chaotic rank or more towards your lawful rank? And so over time, you build up law and chaos, and you get different things as you achieve those points, right? And on the chaos end of the spectrum, you could like turn into a vampire or become a werewolf or that kind of thing. But you also can take two different sort of damage tracks. There's a physical damage track, and then there's a peril track. And peril is like your stress. And so as you become more stressed, things can happen to you that can permanently affect your character, as well as injuries, right? Like you could lose a hand and that affects your character, right? And you can get prosthetics and things like that to help you out. But so they're the same way that damage can have some permanent effects, physical damage, peril can have some permanent effects on your character as well as magic. If you're a magic user, you're like pulling from the chaos, and you can channel that chaos to make your spell more powerful and give it a better chance to succeed. But whenever you do that, you also run the risk of giving yourself some magical kind of manifestations that can permanently or temporarily affect your character. And the same thing is true with stress and with damage. Some injuries only affect your character for a small amount of time, some for a larger amount of time.
Cool. Very cool. Well, now, this, as of this recording, is not out yet, but I understand you're working on a thing that uses Zweihander, are you not?
Yes, I am. So, and it's a full length adventure. And when I say full length, I mean hardcover, gonna be a lot, at least 250,000 words kind of thing. That you could sit down, you'll create characters in the beginning to play it, and probably be ready to retire them by the time you are done, right? And so I can't say too much more about that, but I am allowed to say that I am working on that. So I've been doing a very deep dive. Pretty much every day I'm working on the manuscript. Because 250,000 is a lot of words to get that done and to get that into the hands of the various editors and things like that. And I'm play testing it once a week as I am writing. So yeah, I'm very excited about it. It's very fun for me to work in a system. You know, Burn Bright has one mode. This is a totally different mode for me than I'm used to working in. So I'm very, very excited to be doing that.
Can we say the name of the project?
I don't think we can actually, other than no TBA Zweihander project. Andrews McMill is currently like looking into the name to see if they can get it.
Oh,
right?
Gotcha.
So,
yeah.
We could give it a code name though, if you want, Jim.
What should we code it?
Yeah. I will say that the word eternal is probably going to be in the title. I'm just going to leave it there.
Awesome. So the code name is Eternal or some synonym thereof.
Right.
Awesome.
Yes.
So if folks are wanting to look into this and see more about it when it's coming out, what should they be keeping an eye on?
They should head on over to, I guess, Zweihander's website, which I believe is zweihander.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at James Intricasso. Worldbuilderblog.com will have updates. That's my blog. And also, if you follow Daniel D. Fox, he is leading the development editing for this. He is at Zweihander RPG on Twitter. So those are all good places where you will definitely be able to find more updates as this comes out.
Awesome, James. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Jim. I really, really appreciate it. And thank you all for watching. You're beautiful people.
Yay! Yes. Thank you. Thank you folks so much. Well, we're going to throw things back to whatever it is that I'm doing right now. Take care. We will see you all of a sudden.
Yep. We'll see you then. Take it away, future Jim.
We have returned.
Hello. Okay, so now we are in doing stuff to learn about the score phase, which is a phase I just made up. All right, so what are we doing? Actually, that's kind of my question.
It's not
What are
made
you
up.
doing? I have a feeling that we could come up with a more concise set of words for it. So we've decided a little bit offline that the church is your target. Is that right?
Yes.
And we're going to do
Might
this
as
a little
well.
bit differently,
Yeah.
but because we are going to pretty much things that you decide are likely to be whatever it is. So we can just kind of, you can tell me, each of you, what you do to get information. And then if you want, you could tell us what the information is. And if we all agree that it's a cool thing, then there's your score. And then we will begin the score proper next session. But right now, I think we can both sort of in and out of character, however you want to do it, brainstorm what we would like it to be. So I'm going to start with Thistle, actually, because I always like it when Thistle gathers information. What's Thistle up to?
So, so the church is a big organization. It's a big thing. It's a big to do.
It is.
And I think the best way to know how to attack anybody is to go to service.
Gotcha.
Make it a habit. Ugh.
I will tell you. Okay, so my first question to you is: do you go to like the big cathedral, or do you go to one of the smaller ones in a different part of town?
Like a smaller church in a different part of town. So I guess the question for the world, because I've never actually interacted with the church in any of the games I've played, are they more like Catholic style? Do they do like, like confessions and stuff like that? Or
That's a good question. I've seen them as being, yeah, definitely the trappings of the Catholic Church, especially as it existed in Europe in, say, the 18th to 19th centuries in a lot of ways. By which I mean, yeah, a very big, very powerful, extremely wealthy organization. But because of the setting and because of the nature of what it is they're doing, they've also got a lot of like legitimate occult underpinnings that they are that and in this case they work. I mean they really are, actual they can pull power out of a lot of things. There are relics of the church, and they are, for the most part, kept at the primary cathedral, which is huge. It just takes up a significant portion of that part of town. But every now and then, the smaller chapels dotted around town do get access to them.
I had a thought, if I could interject.
Sure.
I've heard, and I don't know how true this is, that it used to be a Catholic thing where they would move the reliquary of like certain objects from one church to another, especially like from Rome to somewhere else in Europe and back again. So like people could look at it or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm imagining that kind of thing where like you take it from the main cathedral to like a little church so the locals could see the thingy and then they put it back.
Absolutely, and then they base a service around that, and everyone does the thing, and maybe
kind of like that.
It has a specific sort of visitation day. Yeah, I like that. So this
And a lot of that.
Oh, go ahead.
A lot of that was for political reasons. If they wanted something from whatever place they were, whatever diocese or whatever they were transporting the thing to, it's like, okay, you can have the relic if we can have this.
Yeah.
Basically,
and I'm sure, honestly, that probably like that. I'm sure that's exactly what happens in Duskfall too.
Okay, so yes, they're Catholic. That's it. They're just
in a lot of
Catholic.
ways. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that this is almost like the score, but I think becoming the worst, like the church in the worst part of town and angling for the relic.
So you want to steal like the relic, like the public, like this is the relic that they do church services with. This is the one that they keep under like very tight guard that everyone will know if it goes away.
Fuck them, right? Like, but I think this would go to like the shittiest, worst treated church in town to actually go to service because he doesn't want to get caught up in anything too deep.
Yeah, that sounds like it's going to be in let's see, hang on, let me flip up here because I've forgotten the name. Is it Dunslow? Okay, so there's Dunslow, which Dunslow is the place that the poorest people live. So Ironhook Prison is there. There's a labor camp. So I think if you're looking for that, that sounds like where it would be. And that particular church would be like, it would have serious opiate of the masses vibes. It's there to keep them from rioting, basically.
Only nice building around.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So I mean, if you're shooting for the crappiest place for them to have a church, it's Dunslow. And I feel like Thistle actually, as with Thistle's experience, I feel like he'd be able to blend in pretty well.
Yeah. Thistle goes to church.
Okay.
Thistle sits in service. Thistle waits a while and tells the bishop or whoever, the person in charge, that he feels oh so very full. Father, I just feel so full. I don't know if it was a big breakfast or
just I feel I've got all these feelings inside me, and they're so heavy. What can I do?
And he says, "You've made the right first step.
Mm,
Keep coming here.
mm.
We can provide guidance."
I'm just worried, Father. I'm worried that he just kind of looks around. I'm worried about all the spirits and everyone, and I think, what if they get inside me, Father?
That is a legitimate concern.
What can I do? What would you do?
I'll tell you what I do. I pray for protection.
Hmm.
But it's not just prayer. Prayer is just words. One must make a sacrifice,
Sacrifice, huh?
and the sacrifice will be rewarded.
Yeah.
The sacrifice is different for everyone. You must decide what it is that you are willing to give up in exchange for peace of mind.
Are you saying that you could bless me, Father? That you have the power? That you have the power to bless me here in this building, Father?
I am merely a conduit, but yes, I can.
Hmm.
Not today, of course. There
When,
are.
Father? I could burst at any moment, but when?
It's a process. It's always a process. But if you're willing to follow the road, I can show you.
Oh, I don't know. The world's so dark. I'm so full. There are so many ghosts. If I could just have a bit of reprieve, Father.
He says, "Yes, I feel your pain."
Mm.
And then what are you shooting for?
I'm trying to determine if this little place has anything in it, or
Okay.
if he if he needs to reach out, or if he is going to go to the back, because I will then prowl. Like while he is going away, I will then sneak behind him because I'm a scarily sneaky large person.
You actually are. So actually, you don't need to roll for it because you are that sneaky. Yeah. He eventually he tells you he says our chapel here is more humble than many, but we still have the wherewithal to do some good. We have items that have been touched by the gods themselves. And those, when one is worthy and prepared, those are the path to redemption.
Do I gotta go like pray or like make myself ready? I'm gonna go make myself ready. I don't want to upset any gods, Father. I don't want to do that.
You could tell, like when he was talking about the items of power, just like if you're playing cards, he has a tell. And you already know you now know what part of the building they're kept in.
I'm gonna go and make myself ready, Father. I'm gonna go stick my hand in my mouth, and maybe I'll throw up a little bit before I go, and I don't want to upset anybody. No, but thank you, Father. Thank you. I'll be less full next time.
He throws a couple of platitudes at you as you leave. Anyone else?
What did we? What did we just get? We just acquired. There was something from anyway.
So
I have a thing. Sorry, go ahead.
no. Go ahead.
Well, I have a general thing. I need something a little more specific. In that Greg has two different ways of gathering information.
Right.
One is if it's from if he's trying to get information directly from a richer person or what have you, he'll just be around. He might transport people and hear things.
Yeah, he just drive them around. Yeah,
just drive them around. The other way that he has of gathering information is he will find out who the servants of the people are, or best idea is who drives the person or the people.
You talk to the chauffeurs. Yeah.
And he gets them into a game, and they chat. Basically, he sort of schmoozes them. I mean, he schmoozes both. In either case, but
absolutely.
Just a question of which way we want to tackle this if he's going to do that. If we need a layout of something, or if we need a comings and goings or something like that, or if we
the church often hires outside drivers, but they do have. So actually, you've got two ends as far as drivers. They do hire outside drivers. That was how Thistle got information last time. In fact.
Yeah.
But they also do have a group of church employees that essentially do the same thing you do, but they are dedicated to the church. The church has its own fleet for. Oh, in fact, that was the specific fleet that was one of those carriages is what was transporting that folio in the first score. So you could go either direction with that, and it doesn't necessarily matter. What are you trying to find out, or do you know yet?
I don't know yet. That's the only thing. Is I don't know what we need. I'm still vague. I'm unclear.
Gotcha.
Transportation schedules or something, or where the thing is, or how to get at the thing. Things like that. I guess.
Definitely possible. Let me look at this map while
weaknesses of the people guarding the thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
honestly.
also wanted to clarify one thing, because our friend Valeris said that there were multiple items.
Basically, the ghost gave you a list.
Okay, so we have a list of multiple items that we could be going after. Are we each gathering information on the same item, or are we trying to find information on multiple items?
It depends on how you want to work it. I mean, it feels like it's more efficient to go after the same one, but either one is a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, I guess just is there anything from the list that you can give us that would give us a hint of which of these would be easiest to go after?
Honestly, the one that Thistle found might be the easiest because it is in Dunslow and it is not super heavily guarded, unlike their primary repository, which is the place that I'd say 75% of the things that the ghost told you about are, and that's in the main cathedral. It is in the main cathedral, which is in, hang on, I think it's in Brightstone, which is where the wealthiest people live, except for what's the other place? What's the place? It's not White Crown, but Brightstone is where the wealthiest people live that are not, the Lord Governor. So yeah, Brightstone is difficult for a lot of reasons. Bluecoat patrols are much heavier. Security in general is better, and it is the main cathedral. So yeah, if you're shooting for something easier, honestly, the Dunslow one is good. There is another one that you could hunt down in. Let's see. The thing is, the church has chapels everywhere, so Dunslow might be your easiest one. There's also Char Hollow and Silk Shore. But if you're scouting those, security's better at them. But basically, on the list that Valeris gave you, Thistle has effectively confirmed that something important is in that chapel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it sounds like we're focusing on that one because that's attainable pretty easily, and then we'll focus on potentially one of the more difficult ones probably later. So
if we need another one, I mean,
the good news is you now have
if we get this one.
Someone did just hand you a list of like pretty cool objects. So yeah, there's a fair point. Yeah.
I'm good to go for the Dunslow one. I would expect that I'm not expecting it to be the light security still.
It's still the church. Yeah,
it's still the church, and it's the church in Dunslow. Like, you have to imagine that there have been any number of hot-headed people who recently got out of Ironhook and were like, what's the most valuable thing in this neighborhood? And it's that relic for sure.
And keep in mind, you don't have to gather all the information now. Once we start this thing, if you've decided on the Dunslow Chapel, then I think you're good. Once we start this thing, flashbacks are still a thing, and anything that you would have reasonably been able to figure out during this phase just becomes a zero stress flashback. So not a problem on any of that. But yeah, we can. Let's see.
All right, then let's start the score.
You want to do it?
I mean, not like start the score.
But start the mechanics part. Do we want to do that? All right. If everyone's good with that, let's flip over to
anything else they want to do first.
I wanted to gain a little more information.
Sure.
But I guess that could happen as part of this starting.
That's cool, but it's up to you. And if you have something else specific, we can work through it.
I wanted to see if I could use my mechanic for weaving the web. You get +1 die to consort when you gather information on a target for a score. So.
Yep.
It seems like a good time to try it.
And actually, if I recall correctly, because of that, you're going to get +1 on the engagement roll, right?
Yeah.
Yes, you will.
But I have to actually do that part.
Yeah. You need to go ahead and consort, which makes sense. Who are you consorting with?
I think okay, if this is a stupid idea, please let me know. But I think Weaver's going to really lean into her fine cover identity.
Okay.
And dress up as if she's been sent from the main cathedral. Not like one of the priests, but like some kind of high-ranking acolyte that's sent as a messenger.
Okay.
And go down to the chapel in Dunslow and say something like, what do you call it? The pontificate wishes to check up on the reliquary that was bequeathed to you. The church has been given reason to tighten security.
And the bishop, the same one that Thistle was talking to, says, first off, that part works. The cover identity checks out. No need to roll for that. The thing you'll need to roll for is, in fact, the consort roll to see how much information you get. So it's still risky standard, meaning, and typical stuff applies if you want to push yourself, or if you want to do Devil's Bargain.
How do I push myself? I've never done that before.
You spend 2 stress and you get an extra die. Simple as that.
Oh. Okay, let's try it. Let's try it. Okay, so I mark 2 stress. Okay, so risky standard, and if I'm using my weaving the web, I get one one die already. And
You
if
get
I use
another
the-
+1. That's a fair point. So yeah,
so that's 2 bonus dice.
yeah. If you want to do it that way, that's a really good
Okay, let's
shot.
try it.
All
I
right.
want to see what happens. we're just making fun choices tonight.
Oh gosh, that's a crit. Okay. So, wow. Let's think about this. You come away with a lot of good information. Yeah, okay. So yeah, it works remarkably well. The bishop falls all over himself to show you where the thing is kept. And as soon as he takes you back and it's called a chapel, but it's still a pretty big church. So it's got he takes you back into a back room. He you go through 2 locked doors and then down a narrow staircase into where the relics are kept. And there are 3 items here, one of which was in fact one of the ones on your list. The other 2 are because you can sense into the ghost realm now. All 3 of them have some sense of power about them. But the one that was on your list is definitely the one that feels it feels a lot like Griff's knife. It's on that level, and you can tell by looking at it again with your kind of newfound sight. You can tell that it's existing in the ghost field and the physical realm simultaneously. It's almost like it's quickly vibrating between the 2 states. And it is it's a mummified hand that has gone jet black. And the fingernails are pointed.
Creepy. Oh, okay. So, yeah, Weaver takes note of all of this, especially the quality of locks on the doors and the position of like this room relative to the rest of the chapel. So,
Yeah. And
like,
he also gives you a rundown of the security measures that they have in place, which we don't need to detail until they come up in the score. So basically, when you hit something, you can go, hey, remember that time that I got all that really good information on the critical roll? Oh, yeah, that. So we can, yeah, you can always harken back to that for certain flashbacks. Yeah, this roll is going to reverberate into the score. That's how good the crit is. So unless there's anything else specific you want, you come out of this with a lot of information.
yeah, I don't think there's anything else specific that I can't like flash back to later. So
Exactly. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Do they bring the relic out for like ceremonies, like for the service or whatever?
Yeah, that's information you could get. Not every service, but there are certain days that they will always bring it out.
Okay.
And then there are other special occasions, or if they have a distinguished visitor, or if they have a need for it to do, and he's not specific about what it is that it does because he assumes that you know this. But yeah, if they need its abilities, he says they will bring it up kind of as needed. But you know he doesn't actually like poke you with his elbow, but it's like but that doesn't happen too often. Along those lines.
Are we incumbent upon one of these like special church holidays? Like, is it almost Easter and Duskfall or something?
Yeah, I mean, one of those is definitely one of those is coming up. So if you wanted to try to do it while it was being brought up or taken back, you could arrange that.
When is Mummified Hand Advent?
Yeah, exactly.
I do have a thing that is we don't have to do necessarily. It just depends on if it. We've already gotten so much information out of you. So if there's nothing here, then we don't have to do it. But I figured out who I would talk to.
Yeah.
With respect to this, and that would just be the person I would draw into a card. Person or persons I would draw into a card game is just figure out whoever it was that would have transported the thing down there. To find out if they know anything interesting or unusual about either the thing or about the route or about just things driving through that part of that district. Through Dunslow, if there's anything that would help to sort of if they have anything that would help when we're doing it.
That makes sense. Do you want to do a roll for that?
Sure.
Okay.
Just basically just sort of see about draw them friendly like into a game and
yeah.
And consort with them.
Consort makes sense in this case, yeah.
If at all possible. And so let's see. Does Greg still have the stress that he took on that previous job, or is that?
No, I would have cleared by now.
Okay.
Yeah, Greg. We could assume Greg's had his own downtime.
Cool.
Just because the downtime you took was for Sharky, we could assume that if Greg wanted to clear his stress, because Greg didn't have a ton of stress, did he?
No, I remember you said he took 4 stress during that job, but that was
so that's not that bad. Yeah.
So
I talked about going gambling, which is I assume your vice.
Yes, it is.
So you can clear it. That's fine.
Okay. I think I'm just going to do it a straight roll here.
Right.
Because this is just sort of fishing for information.
Stakes aren't super high on this one. Yeah, you're not. Yeah. Go ahead and hit risky standard, but it's not.
Gotcha.
The risk is that the church finds out people are asking questions. I mean, that's really what it is. So that's 5. Because it's a 5, I'm going to mark one more tick on that faction clock.
Oh dear.
But that's it. That's the extent of the consequences. Yeah. But also because it's a 5, you get good information. Cool. This is definitely the sort of information I feel like you would want to flashback to because but I will tell you were looking for information about how it was transported and by what route.
Yes.
And I will tell you one thing, it did come from the main cathedral initially, and it's on sort of permanent loan to this chapel. But you know the route it took, and it was actually we're not going to detail that yet. Maybe that'll become important later. But you know the route, and you know if there were any precautions that needed to be taken in the transportation of it.
Cool.
And we're going to leave it as vague as we can, just in case we need to fill stuff in later. But I like that. Okay. All right, Griff, did you have anything else, or did you want to? All right. Do we want to do engagement roll now? Are we good?
Sure.
All right, let me flip over to engagement roll.
Well, I guess we need to decide on our method.
Yeah. While I'm looking that up, decide on your. Did you need the list of options again?
Got it. It's on our character sheet.
Yeah. Oh, good. I always forget it's on there. These character sheets are great.
I mean, probably stealth or deception or assault.
I feel like we've got a really good stealth setup because like we know the way in and like where it's kept and the locks and all the security, and we've got a getaway driver, and I feel like between Weaver and Thistle, you probably have enough happening to be really distracting. So, I feel like stealth might be a good way to go about this if Griffin's up for that.
All right. I feel like Grift is always up for stealth. Yeah.
Do we want to do it on like the special holiday so that it is being moved around?
Yeah, I, I as a player think it would be hilarious if we managed to pull it off. But that's kind of up to y'all.
Sure, I'm down.
It'd be easier to snatch it up if it's already being moved. That is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that is
I mean, I think it's also easier to hide in a crowd than it would be to
Yeah.
try and
Oh,
break
that's
into
true.
this place at night.
Okay,
Yeah.
and there would be more people. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And on that day, the church doors are wide open because they want all
Right.
the people.
All
Yeah.
right.
No, they wouldn't be able to pick us out from a crowd, even if the church is looking for us more or less.
So, do we want to state that you're going to show up during a time that you know it's most vulnerable, and just look for your opportunity?
Yeah.
Okay. Honestly, I feel like that's your point of infiltration, right? Okay. In that case, let's see. All right. Well, we start off with 1 die just regularly. We get another +1 because of Weaver's special ability, so we're up to 2. I feel like this is boulder daring. Not gonna, yeah. This may be the boldest and most daring thing you've done yet. I would, so I think we're up to 3 dice on that one, is how I feel. So the next question has some nuance to it. Does the plan's detail expose a vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest?
I mean, we have determined that this is potentially where they have the weakest security, even though it's
Well, you're right, actually.
because even though this is a poorer part of town and they are more at risk, this is where they have the weakest security overall because
Yeah. I think you're right. All right.
And while the ceremony is going on, that's security will be as busy as they ever are.
That's true. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Okay, no, I think you're right. Okay. So it does actually expose the vulnerability. All right. And then last one is, can any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight for this operation? I think they already have. Yeah, they totally have. Whoa, are we at 5 dice? 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, we're at 5 dice. Okay then, 5 dice on the engagement roll. Woo! All right, I guess I'm going to roll that. And I will do my best not to roll a whole bunch of ones. Let's see what we can do. Where are we? There we go. All right, roll engagement. And
Whoa.
Wow.
that's amazing. Wow.
That's great. I love it.
No, this is, yeah, I can't wait to see how this shakes out. All right, so that means sometimes 5 dice is not your friend. All right.
We tried.
So
We tried all the things.
you're actually starting in a desperate position. Wow. Okay, we'll have to figure out what that means. But off the top of my head, I feel like security is higher than you thought it would be.
Maybe there's something more important going on that we didn't
okay,
realize.
I like that idea a lot. There's, yes, something else is happening, so they beefed up security.
here
And
I
I think-
go killing again.
Yep. So when we begin next session, we'll have to figure that out. But I have a feeling we're going to start with all of you wherever it is you're going to be, and then just the realization dawns on you that this is significantly more than you expected, without currently any explanation why.
Yeah.
That's it. And you're going to have to figure out how to work your way out of that. Okay.
Boy. Oh
Yeah.
boy.
Wow. 3 3s and 2 2s. Okay, then. Yeah, seriously, I like it too. I was expecting at least a 5. All right, so
Remember that time we all died, came back as ghosts, and then haunted the church and then murdered?
yeah,
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
think,
that's one way to help out the ghosts that are hiring you.
I think just to set us up for next time, Grift is weaving his way through the crowd of churchgoers who are filtering in to this massive ceremony, and maybe doing some light pickpocketing on anyone who seems like they are not as poor as everyone else in this place.
Yeah.
And as he's doing so, like, notices that there are just lots of eyes on him.
Absolutely. Yeah, you get that feeling in the back of your skull that tells you that that you're being watched. Yeah.
Yeah. I reach for someone's wallet and then I gradually pull my hand back.
Absolutely.
Making eye contact with the guard.
Yeah, exactly. You're just like, oh, just stretching. All right. Well, I think that's it, unless anyone has anything else specifically they want to do. And between now and then, we'll work out, or more to the point, I'll work out specifically what sort of hot water you have all jumped into feet first.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
Excellent. All right. Is that it for today then? Is that
That's all I've got.
All right. Cool. Awesome. Well, this is very exciting. I think this will be interesting to see how this goes. And we're gonna go ahead and go around and do our outros. Feel free to tell folks where they can find you, plug anything you like, and give any final thoughts you had about the session or things you're looking forward to in the job. And we're going to start once again with our GM, Brian.
Hello, I'm Brian, Veclam on all the things. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun running this thing. Thanks all of you for playing. This has been great, and I like the interactions. I like the bits of background and relationships that you've thrown in, and my favorite part of any game is when, as a group, we do world building as we play, and that's what's been happening, and I'm loving that. So yeah, thanks a lot. I'm looking forward to next week and seeing how you get out of that, whatever it is. So
Excellent. I can't wait. All right, and now we'll head over to Hollow.
Hey, I'm Hollow. You can find me here on Channel Otherdoc on Sundays, playing Last for the Angry Void, which is a reskin Last for the Awful Sea. Yeah.
Yep.
And where I play a very different character there than my cutter, almost the exact opposite, much closer to our current Weaver.
Yeah, quite different actually. Yeah.
Yeah. And other than that, you can find me on Blue Sky at Hollow Invective.
Excellent. And now we will head over to Noctua.
Hi, y'all. You can find me over on Blue Sky at Noctua Magna. Only major thing that I've got going on nowadays is over at Madeline Colley's channel, where we're doing Hearts of Camelot, which is a Hearts of Wulin type spinoff. We're getting close, y'all. Our characters actually have to communicate, and the pining is intense. It's getting fun. Oh, yeah, that's me.
Yay! Wonderful. And finally over to Speedy.
Hello, I am Speedy. Thank you so much for having me. You can find me everywhere as Not So Speedruns. I don't have any shows to plug or anything like that. but Earth Day is coming up, so go pick up trash in your neighborhood or something. Find a tree to hug. There's lots of things you can do. I'll be picking up trash just around my block this weekend, so find a thing to do. And I love this game, and I'm really excited to see what happens next week, when we try and steal a holy relic in front of all of the loyal churchgoers.
Yeah, this is great. I am really enjoying this game. This is wonderful. I am also just coming to a greater understanding through this of just the Forged in the Dark stuff. So just seeing the pieces fit together is glorious. Awesome thing. Who am I? Outside of being Greg. I am Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on Twitch, YouTube, and most social media platforms. Where I'm not OtherDoc, I'm Jim Yes That Jim. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. Down below here on Twitch, you can access my website, social media links, YouTube channel, and various other things. On Sunday, as mentioned, we return to Alas for the Angry Void. Things are heating up on the planet Metaxas. There was quite a bit of action actually toward the end last time, and things are stirring up. Yeah, there's currently a ban on anyone leaving the planet, and what they really need to do is leave the planet. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how things are going. Then on Tuesday, I'm going to be running a one shot of It Came from the Late 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 Show. I'm starting that series. I'm going to run a couple on this channel. The movie is going to be the Curse of Wolf Castle. I think that's what I titled it.
Title.
Yeah, it's a comedy game about people playing actors who are in turn playing characters in a B movie. Game from the late 80s. So I've been meaning to run it for about like 30 plus years, and finally getting a chance to, so I'm very excited. Then on Thursday, of course, we have more of this, and I can't wait. I really am. I'm very curious to see what it is that we are up against here, because it sounds absolutely delightful. But in the meantime, when we hit the end card, we're probably going to go and say hi to somebody. Feel free to hang on and say hi to them with us. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we shall catch you next time. Farewell.